I'm 78 years old, and I am about to confess something today that most women will take directly to their graves. Something I have been carrying like a heavy stone in my chest for 4 long years. It's the kind of suffocating guilt that wakes you up at 3 a.m., staring at the dark bedroom ceiling, just begging God to let you rewind the clock. Because I was the one who destroyed my marriage, not my husband. Me. I did that. My husband Marcus and I, we were married for 45 years. We raised 2 beautiful boys together. We built a whole life from absolute scratch. Went from a freezing, cramped walk-up apartment in Southside Chicago to owning a beautiful home in the suburbs, free and clear. And for most of those decades, I lied to myself. I told myself we had a good, solid marriage, the kind that lasts. But here is the brutal truth that nobody ever warns you about. You can stay married to someone for nearly half a century, share their house, wash their clothes, and still leave them entirely alone. Marcus passed away 4 years ago. His heart just gave out. He was sitting in the garden, a place he loved. And by the time the ambulance arrived, he was already gone. But exactly 1 week before it happened, we were sitting at the kitchen table late at night. Out of nowhere, he put his tea down, looked at me with this quiet, desperate sadness in his eyes and said, "Clara, I am sitting right across from you, but I feel like I'm 1,000 miles away. Please, let me back in." And do you know what I did? I stood up. I didn't even look him in the eye. I told him I needed to wipe down the counters, and I walked away. I left that man sitting in the quiet kitchen by himself. A week later, he was dead. And those words, "Please, let me back in," they echo in my head every single day. Because he was right. He had been standing outside the locked door of my heart for years, and I simply refused to turn the key. Now I need y'all to understand something. In those early years, Marcus wasn't perfect. No man is. He was pulling double shifts on the railroad, exhausted to his bones. He missed birthdays. He forgot anniversaries. There were times I felt like a single mother, carrying the entire crushing weight of that household while he just showed up to sleep and eat. I had every right to be hurt. I'm not denying that. But instead of telling him about it, instead of fighting for us, instead of grabbing his shoulders and making him see me, I did something so much worse. I shut down, quietly, little by little, so slowly that Marcus didn't even notice at first. I built walls around my heart, thick and high, brick by cold brick. I started keeping a silent score. Every disappointment, every time he let me down, every time he picked his exhaustion over my feelings, I filed it all away. And I used that invisible scorecard to justify turning freezing cold. He forgot to call when his train was delayed. Fine. I wouldn't ask about his day when he got back. He fell asleep during a conversation. Fine. I wasn't reaching for his hand anymore. It was a million tiny punishments, small, daily withdrawals of my affection. I told myself I was just protecting my peace, that I was being a strong woman, that if he really loved me, he would smash through those walls to get to me. But that is not how love works. That is not how any of this works. When Marcus finally retired, something shifted in him. The heavy burden was off his shoulders. The boys were grown. And suddenly, he was present in a way he had never been before. He'd wake up early just to make me breakfast. He wanted to plant a garden together. He tried to hold my hand on the porch. And you know what I did? I rejected that man. Every single time. I ate the breakfast in silence. I pulled my hand away, pretending I needed to fix my glasses. I had gotten so comfortable being disappointed, so comfortable wearing my resentment like a shield, that letting him in meant admitting I had wasted years being cold for absolutely no reason. I kept him shut out for a decade. 10 years of him reaching and me pulling away. Time I can never, ever get back. And then came the land. About 2 years before Marcus passed, he tracked down the exact 50 acres of farmland in Georgia that his great-grandfather had lost during the Depression. He spent his entire retirement savings to buy it back. It was his ultimate dream to restore his family's legacy. He finally got the deed. He showed me the papers, his hands literally shaking with tears in his eyes. He begged me to fly down there with him, to walk that soil together as husband and wife. And I looked at him, and I said no. I made up every excuse in the book. Too hot, too far. I said I was too old for that kind of trip. But the truth, the ugly, naked truth, I was terrified. I knew that if I stood with him on that ancestral dirt, if I let myself share something that profound, my walls would completely crumble. I would have to be close to him again. I would have to admit I still loved him. So I let my husband travel across the country to reclaim his family's history, completely alone. He sent me a picture of himself kneeling in that Georgia dirt, holding a handful of it, crying. I didn't even call him back. When he came home, he was quieter. The light behind his eyes had just faded. A year later, he was gone. After the funeral, the lawyers gave me a sealed envelope they found in his lockbox. Marcus wasn't a man of many words, but he wrote this letter in a motel room in Georgia, looking out at the land he bought for us. There was one paragraph in there that absolutely destroyed me. He wrote, "I spent the last 10 years trying to find my way back to my Clara. I don't know exactly when I lost her, but I know she's gone. She's sleeping right next to me, but I haven't reached her in years. I am so tired, Lord. I am so tired of knocking on a door that just won't open." My husband spent the last decade of his life thinking he was fundamentally broken, thinking he couldn't do anything right, trying to fix a problem that didn't even exist. I let the man I loved die, believing he wasn't enough, just because my stupid pride wouldn't let me thaw out. Listen to me. There are 2 ways to destroy a marriage. The first way is loud. Affairs, abuse, screaming, slamming doors. Everybody sees that. You can point to it and say, that's why it ended. But the second way, it is completely quiet. It's withdrawal. It's slowly starving the person you love of your warmth while technically still cooking their meals. It is making them feel like they are married to a ghost. If you are watching this right now and you see yourself in my story, if you are the one keeping score, if you are the one with the walls up, hear me right now. Your partner cannot climb walls you refuse to lower. They cannot read a mind you locked away. And one day, whether it is death or divorce, that knocking on your door is going to stop forever, and you will be left sitting there with nothing but your pride and those walls to keep you company. I know, because that is exactly where I am sitting right now. I look at our wedding picture from 1978 every single night, and I think about everything I should have done differently. I should have forgiven him for being exhausted in those early years. I should have gone to Georgia and held his hand in that dirt while he cried. If you love somebody, tell them, not when they finally earn it, now. If you built walls, start taking them down, one brick at a time. Burn that scorecard, light a match, and let it go. Do not waste your life protecting yourself from a person who only ever wanted to love you. I would give absolutely anything for one more afternoon with Marcus. Not to apologize. Apologies are just empty words now. But to say yes. Yes to the garden. Yes to holding hands. Yes to being close instead of being right. I didn't get that day, but you still might. Don't waste it like I wasted mine. If this meant something to you, please subscribe. Turn on notifications and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Don't learn this lesson the hard way.